More turbulence for Boeing as it faces another safety investigation in the US, this time over the 787 Dreamliner. And oil profits are down. Two giants of the industry, BP and Saudi Aramco, report a fall in revenue amid lower oil prices. Hello, welcome to the programme. This is World Business Report. I'm Ben Thompson, and we begin this programme in the United States, where the troubles facing Boeing have become even more serious. The US air safety regulator has opened a new investigation into the aircraft maker after Boeing acknowledged that it may not have carried out proper quality inspections on its 787 Dreamliner. Well, that follows another probe earlier this year into the safety of its 737 MAX planes, one of which suffered a mid-flight incident when a part of a wall of the plane blew out. From New York, the BBC's Michelle Fleury has the details. Let's just take you to France, where the Chinese President Xi Jinping is meeting with the French President Emmanuel Macron. Now, they're in Tarbes-Lourdes, it's the Pyrenees airport, and a slight break in normal protocol. What's happening is that President Macron is taking President Xi to the birthplace of his grandmother, and he's doing so, his advisors say, because they can have direct one-on-one chats away from perhaps some of the scrutiny of a more formal visit. Now, we understand one of the main objectives of this visit is to try to ease tensions between the West and China, and it's a difficult relationship, one that is largely dominated by trade. So many countries around the world relying on China as the workshop of the world, and also particularly, of course, for its tech exports. But there have been growing tensions on a number of serious geopolitical issues, and it all revolves around trade too, the trade imbalance between the two countries. What President Macron is hoping for is a better deal for European, but notably French firms dealing with China. And President Xi keen, of course, to reiterate the importance of the bilateral links between the two countries. So some of the formalities here before the two men then make their way away from the sight of cameras to begin those talks. So an important moment as the two men meet. It's the second day of President Xi's trip, but so far very little by way of big announcements. There's been no news on new economic policies or new trade deals between the two, but one of the main objectives here is to try and reduce the trade imbalance between China and European firms. We'll keep you right up to date with any developments that emerge from those talks. But I just want to return to our top story, that news that there is a further safety investigation into Boeing. Let's talk now to the business leadership expert, Chris Roebuck. He's from UCL School of Management. And Chris, just Michelle was explaining some of the latest issues here for Boeing. It's really serious, this, isn't it? Chris, we'll talk about this again. There's a lot for us to fit in this show, but grateful for your time this morning. Thank you, Chris Roebuck, there with the latest on what's happening at Boeing. I want to turn our attention, though, now to oil, because two giants of the industry, BP and Saudi Aramco, have released their latest quarterly results. They show a fall in profits as lower oil prices affect revenue. BP's numbers, well, they're down 45% in the first quarter compared to the same time last year. Underlying replacement cost profit, as it's called, was $2.7 billion compared to $4.9 billion this time last year. Well, Saudi Arabia's state oil company Saudi Aramco, for its part, saw profits down by 14% compared to last year. Both Saudi Aramco and BP posted record profits this time last year. So what does it tell us about what's going on? Let's talk to our business editor, Simon Jack. And Simon, what does it tell us about the industry? All right, we will. Simon, good to talk to you. Thank you. Our business editor, Simon Jack there. Thanks. Now, in the UK, the Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves, who is hoping to take over as Finance Minister at this year's general election, has been giving a speech in which she accuses the government of gaslighting the British people over the state of the economy. Speaking to a room full of business leaders, she said that the government's claims that their economic plan is working are deluded. Well, that speech comes ahead of key figures that are likely to show the UK emerge from recession. They'll be out later this week. The Bank of England could also start taking steps to cut interest rates. So what does it tell us? Let's talk to Mike Coop from Morningstar Investment Management. Mike, good to have you with us. So Rachel Reeves pretty critical there of the government's handling of the economy. They are in pre-election mode, though, aren't they? Really good to talk to you, Mike. Thanks very much, Mike Coop there, Morningstar Investment Management. Now, before we go, some news about us. After more than 30 years, we're going to say goodbye to World Business Report. Well, it's had quite a few different looks over the years. This one from the late 1990s, well, WBR as we call it, it looked like, well, this until 2007, when a new look arrived and everything went quite blue. And then came our spiky globe in 2013. We love it. But it's time for a new look and a new name. Business Today is what will be called from later today. All you need to know about money, markets, finance, tech, travel and trade. Business Today here on BBC News. But for one final time, from me and the team, you've been watching World Business Report. Bye-bye.